So a little guerrilla style shoot today for the pre-intro and the outro. And let me get back. Oh yeah. Nothing in the chamber, and if you can see it. But nothing there. Yeah, talk about the very last bit of drama, but I had an interesting time today with the Reflex XL MRD, and I need some opinions. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not cleaning it correctly, but I did the normal nominal thing. I don't know. Take a look for yourself. Tell me what you think. And just give me your honest opinion, because I do not understand. And it's okay. No big deal. Part of the journey, part of the process. I'm not mad at it. I am actually interested, and this is why I'm doing it kind of in this style too. Because this was a very dynamic shoot, and it was very tough to get a beat on what was happening. So not a lot to discuss, but big topic to talk about. So state of the outro, we'll discuss it further there. And thank you so much. Enjoy. Thumbs up here. I'm holding the camera. I don't have my my tripod apparatus to give it a little more flexibility.
This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. All firearm handling shown is performed by trained individuals in a controlled environment. Always follow the 4 rules of gun safety. Number 1, treat your firearm as if it is loaded. Number 2, never point a firearm at anything you do not intend to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Number 4, be sure of your target and what's beyond it. Comply with all local, state, and federal laws regarding firearms. Do not attempt to replicate any action seen in this video without proper training and safety measures. The creators assume no liability for misuse or unsafe practices.
Hello, you. Welcome back here to the pew for this 1,000-round review series of the FNreflex XL MRD. We are winding down today. It is that time, 147 grain. This is from Supervel, VEL, Victor Echo Lima. And yeah, local company that does reloads, tons of reloads. I think they've started back in 1968, I think I read. So, been around for a while. Really appreciate them. And yeah, we're going to be shooting the last 100 rounds through the FN today. Let me test out this target camera, make sure it looks good. Yeah, it's been quite the journey, I have to say, with this FN. I will reiterate the fact, the one big point I don't like about it is that trigger. It's very, very light. I have a guest shooter that went through 30 rounds, and another guest shooter, a female, that went through another 30, so 60 together, doing 115 grain. I'll post that in tandem with this FN, because we had similar thoughts about the trigger, the factory trigger, and it's just too unpredictable. It's too inconsistent. Not necessarily inconsistent, but their wall is very squishy. It's very open. It's not a very distinct wall for a carry. I would definitely want that. I would not want to carry this as an EDC with that stock trigger. Now, everything else about the pistol, the grip texture going up to the slide, the magazine release, the recoil is a little much. The recoil can get a little snappy at times, and not having the grip for the rest of the firearm it makes it a little tough. Slide stop, it's nice and fine. It's got the optics cut there. Iron sights are doable. So yeah, I'll come out with a review for it, but I just wanted to lay out the main points for it. I was hoping for more. I honestly had higher expectations after the FN509C. That thing was awesome. But I'm still interested in the other FNs. There is a FN Oh, the 503 that just came out from SHOT Show. So I want to see how that does comparatively to these different firearms. Today we're going to be shooting at the different range, and we're going to be punching out to 13.6 yards with the tree, the humble tree, which we'll just call it 14 yards, right? We're going to be doing 16 yards there with the yellow one, and another 22 yards for the big beluga silhouette orange Mamacita or Papacito. Shooting with G code, holster, paradigm. I am missing a little screw, so I'm going to be careful with this thing. It might get a little wonky because it's not secure, so and I know I was drawing from inside the waistband, but I don't have the parts, so I've got to do it from the side. Got a Blackhawk mag caddy. And thank you so much for being on this journey for 1,000 rounds. I've been shooting through a lot of different firearms, and I can say that I am so well versed now. I could shoot any gun, and no, I'm just kidding. It's very interesting because you have certain guns that you just click with, right? It's so interesting to see that, and to me, that experience tells something about the manufacturing of the gun, the company, the frame, everything, and your build, all that stuff. So it's very, very interesting to know about all of these different characteristics and nuances, and then you can start to see, okay, well, that would work well for me, or this wouldn't work well for me, because as you shoot the volume of firearms through the different ammo, then you can start to tell what you are going to resonate with your body and your hands and your shooting style. So let's get this loaded up and let's get it going. We have some wind today. There's a storm that's coming through, has come through, and is still coming through, so I'm gonna have to watch vigilantly with vigilance on all my gear, because I don't want it to fall over. It's already done that before. All right, I'll tuck in my shirt. Yeah, and that's another thing, it's doing this, where it doesn't go back into battery. One of the guest shooters had that issue, and very strange, and I think she was not holding on to the firearm as tightly as the other guest shooter, but still, it's inconsistent. So and I didn't have that too much, but I did have it before, not as much as her. So, all right, let's do 22 to start with and get our bearings. That was unintentional, but it was a great one. A little low, but. Damn. It's a little pain in the butt. Yeah, even when I rack the slide back, and it's just very weird. Very weird. I don't like it. Hands are so dry, getting cracked, and need to carry lotion. Keep lotion in your vehicle. Okay, there we go. All right, let's do the humble tree. Well, what I'll do is I'll do 2 humble trees. If I can't do it, I'll just go back to the 16. So I'll do 2 humble tree, 16, 2 humble tree, 16. Or no humble tree reholster. Come on, baby. Do not like that. Ooh. Failure to eject. Oh no, failure to feed. All right, well, that's not good, man. Maybe it's, no, it's not the ammo because the brass is all recycled from Blazer to Gulia to Federal to, what is this one? Doesn't matter, okay. Damn. All right, let me go back to what I said I would do. 2 shots and then to the tree. Or into the, all right, there we go. Oh shoot, I screwed up. This is garbage. Hold on, stand by. Let me pick up my rounds. No good. Unintentional. Yeah, that's not good. I gotta look that up because it's not, this is not good now. Yeah, you have to you have to give it a whack, and it's unnecessary. I shouldn't be doing that. Dang. Yeah, all right, well, that's the last 100, and eesh, it didn't give me a good experience at that very end. It didn't do what it has been doing, where it's just been shooting normally and nominally. It's been giving me problems. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is. All right, I'll come back and clean this in one of my shorts, but yeah, tell me about your reflex experience. That's not good. Mechanically speaking, that's no bueno. So, all right, well, catch me for the supercut when I release it, and also the review. I'll be getting that out shortly. And stay tuned to see any other developments. I might make some shorts about what I find with this reflex. 147 is having the same issues as the 115, so that's not good. Anyway, all great. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for your subscription, your likes, your comments, all that stuff. Stay for the outro. Make sure you aim for center mass, pick up your brass, wash your ass. Say hi to your mom for me.
All right, so that is 1,000 through the reflex. Yay! And it's been very intriguing shoot since the very beginning. The character arc going through with the XL from FNreflex, and I am in a camp that is an interesting place to be. Review will come out and you'll hear from my take, but this fascinating to think about. You know, this is my philosophy, really quick caveat. We can look at one thing in a binary sense, like the trigger, and say, oh, that's either an on or an off, good or a bad, 1 or a 2, take or no take, carry, no carry. And things can be that easy. Things can be that quick to set in one camp or other. I agree. I'm with that. Definitely when we're dealing with firearms and things that can be potentially dangerous, depending on whose hands you put them in and the intent behind whose hands you put them in. It can be that way. Now, for me, it's not complex necessarily, but there's other things to consider, and I can't look at that one thing over a period of time, even after 1,000 rounds, and say to myself, oh, yep, no, that's it. I have to think, well, what other things are going on? Just like all of the other firearms that I've shot, where has it been? What has it done? What is the purpose? What is my build? What is my, all these extenuating factors that can change an opinion, end results, and later on down the line, your overall experience. So for me, this 1,000 rounds was an interesting journey for the FN, for myself included, because I'm coming up with my own, I suppose, my own branding in that sense, where I'm not going to look at it and say, oh, this is that. There is cause and effect. Yes, there is, true. And we subscribe to that moniker, of course, but this being used, this is a factor. I don't know how many rounds it's been through it. I don't know how used that spring is. I don't know what's going on with the feed ramp. I don't know so many different things. The trigger as well, I'm not sure. It hasn't been in just my hands. So I have to be fair in the sense that these things have to be a consideration for the review, that I'm not just like, well, this thing sucks, I don't like it, and it didn't shoot well, and the last 100 did me terribly, and I am throwing it away. I have to look at the totality of the shoot. It shot great. I didn't like the trigger, but the trigger did its job, and I had to fix the way that I approach firearms because that's not what this one does, right? Obviously this is a different trigger, similar to some others, but it definitely has a different characteristic. Now I can say subjectively I don't prefer it, but that doesn't make it a bad thing, objectively speaking. Did it do its job? Did I get rounds downranged? Was I accurate? Was the transitions quick? Did it perform? Was it reliable? Yes, 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 yes. 1 through 700, 750 or whatever, and then 800, 900, 1000. Oh, wait, hold on. Another characteristic has shown its face, and now I have to look at something in a different light. Failure to feed, and the problem after having loaded, a magazine, it's like, oh, it had a failure to feed. So maybe initially that's weird. Then when I started to shoot downrange, it started to do the same thing. Failure to feed after rounds going through. Now that's another thing to consider. Anyway, this is my thought process going through, right? And I know for some it may be a little too much, and I completely understand that's not how I do things here. I really do want to look at everything in totality, right? Like, let's say kids. You have kids. When we were kids, this is a perfect analogy. When we were kids, we had a thought because we had a set amount of experience in our lives up to a point, right? Till you're 10 years old, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to race monster trucks, right? And then 5 years later, you know what? I want to race Le Mans. And then another 20 years later, it's like, holy crap, I've gotten so good at motocross, I can't see myself doing anything else. So we all have to think about where these items have been, these firearms have been, where we have been, what we have shot, what we have experienced, and then also take a step back. Instead of being emotional, I don't mean that in a negative sense, just working out of emotion, like, oh man, that trigger didn't do well, oh my gosh, I had a terrible last 100 rounds today. True, but then all of the other rounds that I had shot went without a hitch. So either there's something going on with me, and I did clean, I did lube, and I was inside the firearm getting things taken care of before the shoots, just a quick cursory clean, right? Grease up and lube down. I didn't show that, but I can say that this is what I had done to take those precautions, but it still had some of those issues. So I'm going to do my review, and I will try to be as fair as I can and also objective as I can, because it's not, I have to take in consideration those things, and I'm not going to illuminate that, but it is something that I think about. And even though this came up, it was the last 30% of the shoot that it had these issues. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I didn't have this firearm from the previous owner. I don't know if he switched out the trigger. I don't know what else that they did to it, he or she, those folks, whomever had it. So I can't give, in this case, a completely 100% objective and subjective take, because, well, it's been other places. So from my standpoint, from where I'm coming from, this is what I think, right? And I hope that's enough for everybody. And we all have to take a look at that and think about, well, when I was 12, I thought the Ninja Turtles, I thought Leonardo was the best, right? I loved those katana swords. And then 5 years later, you know what, Donatello, man, that bow staff could really whack some people. And even though it wasn't cutting anybody, he could reach a longer range. So anyway, that's another, interesting analogy. But yeah, we all have a different shake, and maybe I'm completely off base. Maybe this whole outro and my thoughts about what happened today is not accurate, but that's how I feel. That's how I try to look at things. And being here now in this place after 17,000 rounds through 17 firearms, give or take, I don't know how many, I didn't look. I think I got it ballpark, but that's where I can say my head is at after all those firearms. So, okay, I know that was a little bit longer. I wanted to make that very clear, because there's something to be said about all the different context that we're going into for not only firearms, but in life, let's just say. All of our experiences compiled together to reach the place where we are, to give our take. And another thing too, I wanted to really quick mention of loading. So when I reload magazines. I do that on purpose by hand. And the reason I do it on purpose by hand is I want to show the entire process. I don't want to skimp out on anything that I'm doing on camera. This is all one take. I'm not doing any edits. The only edits I do, you'll see, with text across the screen, and that's all. Like I keep everything is just cut the way that I do it, so that it is one shot, right? That's what I'm doing. That's the purpose of why I'm doing it. Shorts may be a different matter, but excuse me, for the most part, that's why I load each individual one, and I do it by hand. It's just, this is the old-fashioned way. And I thought about this. I thought about it a lot when I was first starting this channel. This is something that I need to do for me, and I want to do as a testament to how I was brought up and what I was taught and the things that I learned how to load and not to use speed loaders. Nothing wrong with it, and I'm not saying anybody that uses it is incorrect. This is just what I do, and you can expect that going forward for every single firearm. I'm going to load with my hand, with my thumb. You get carpal tunnel, if it breaks off and falls off, I'll figure out another way. That's just what I do. That's how I was brought up. So, any case, hope that clears up some things. Thank you so much for staying. I appreciate all of you. Comments are coming through, and I really, really do love to hear from you. I like to hear also your misgivings about what I do, how I do it, and we can chat about it. I will definitely make a comment and be explicit and clear of what and why I do what I do, because this is a passion, super big passion of mine. I love to share it with people, so I'm sure you would do the same, you being in my shoes, with anything else, right? So again, thank you so much. Thank you for staying for this 10-minute outro. Hopefully it wasn't too long and you didn't get too bored, but you're all awesome, folks. Thank you. Stay tuned for the supercut. Stay tuned for the review coming soon, excuse me. And we'll be back tomorrow for that. So like, subscribe, comment, recommend, all that jazz, not in that particular order. I will see you tomorrow. We'll keep going on this journey, and I really do appreciate everybody. 照顾好自己，注意安全。I know that was a weird one. I didn't have any other choice because I only got one hand. Okay.